You know that feeling, right? That desire for something more, something better. Maybe it's more money, maybe better relationships, or just, well, feeling successful.
Oh, yeah, we all feel that pull. And if you go looking online for how to get there, wow, the information overload is real.
Totally. Especially around this whole concept of manifestation. It's everywhere.
It really is. It's this idea that you can actively kind of bring things into your life. Very appealing.
Exactly. So this deep dive is really for you listening right now. If you're curious about manifestation, but maybe a bit overwhelmed by all the noise.
We're going to zero in on just one perspective to keep it manageable.
Right. We're looking at a specific YouTube video. It's called My Manifestation Routine for Getting Everything I Want Fi. Guaranteed money, love, success, etc. From the channel Simonesquared.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this video is how it sort of sets you up.
Sets you up? How so?
Well, it starts off presenting this very specific morning routine, like a formula almost.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. It kicks off with waking up, some mirror chant.
Affirmations.
Right.
Processing negative thoughts, sitting and thinking, drinking something called moon water.
Moon water. Yeah, water charged under the full moon.
Yeah.
And then writing down things she's grateful for.
And the examples were so specific, weren't they? Like knees, nails.
And her MacBook charger. I remember that. She really emphasizes that gratitude is the key.
It definitely paints a picture of like a ritual. You do these steps, you get the results, makes it seem concrete.
Right. Maybe highlighting those kind of quirky details makes it feel more real or accessible, or just shows gratitude for tiny things.
Could be. But then just when you think you've got the formula,
boom, she flips the script.
Exactly. She comes right out and says, there is no such thing as a manifestation routine.
Which is pretty bold, considering the video title.
Totally. And she uses that great analogy asking, do you have a breathing routine?
Right. Making the point that manifestation, like breathing, is just happening all the time. It's not a task you check off.
Precisely. So it's not about the doing of a routine, but something much more fundamental.
So if it's not the routine, what is the core idea here?
Well, this is where she introduces the first big principle. Every moment, our thoughts are creating our reality.
Okay, unpack that a little.
The idea is that our thoughts are constantly being projected onto the screen of space that is known as our reality. That's the quote.
Projected. Like a movie.
Sort of, yeah. It implies that what we experience isn't just random, it's a direct result of our ongoing thought patterns and beliefs. Not just in the morning, but like 24/7.
It's a lot to take in. It shifts it from actions to internal state.
Exactly. It's less about doing and more about being and thinking.
Okay. So the video then gets into laying the foundation for this. And a huge part of that foundation is your vibe.
Yes, vibration or vibe.
Yeah.
She says this is crucial, whether you follow the law of attraction or the law of assumption.
She mentions there's a difference, right? And points to another video she made.
Yeah, her How to Change Your Appearance video apparently explains that distinction. But for this video, the point is your overall energy, your vibe, is key regardless.
And how does she define that vibe, basically?
It's essentially your dominant emotional state, the energy you're putting out. Her core belief seems to be you are what you attract.
She gives some pretty blunt examples, too.
She does, like toxic people attract toxic people and broke people stay broke. Though she does also nod to mindset playing a big role in finances.
So it's about consciously managing that vibe, that energy state. How does she suggest doing that?
Okay, so she offers a few categories of techniques. First up is moving energy.
Moving energy, like literally.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Getting outside in nature, she even suggests hugging a tree.
Hugging a tree.
Or, more conventional stuff like going for a walk, working out. And a big one is music and dancing.
Music. That makes sense.
Yeah, she mentions having specific frequency and spirituality playlists and even names an artist. Laundrel. It's about shaking off stagnant energy.
It's interesting because, well, exercise, nature, music, these things do demonstrably affect mood, right? Whether you call it vibe or just mental well-being.
Absolutely. These aren't just mystical ideas. They have real psychological and physiological effects. Getting active, connecting with nature, music therapy, it's all grounded.
Okay, what else besides moving energy?
Next is mindfulness practices. Things like yoga, she specifically mentions child's pose.
Simple, accessible.
Yeah, and celebrating the present moment, just appreciating the now. And, of course, meditation.
Standard mindfulness tools, really. Focusing on the present, calming the mind. That definitely shifts your state.
It pulls you out of worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, which can certainly lift your overall, vibe.
Makes sense. And the third category?
Self-care. Taking care of yourself.
Me, bottle baths.
Basically. She suggests soak or Epsom salt baths, recommends a good 40-minute soak.
40 minutes, okay.
And face masks get a shout out too. She even mentions a specific brand, Teami, their matcha mask, and an overnight one.
With niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, no less. And a discount code, I bet.
Yep, 20% off with a link. It's interesting how these pampering activities are framed as part of raising your vibration.
It ties self-worth and pleasure into the whole manifestation process, I guess. Taking care of yourself sends a positive signal.
That seems to be the idea. It's all connected: physical well-being, emotional state, and in this view, your manifestation power.
Okay, so that's the foundation. Manage your vibe through moving energy, mindfulness, and self-care. What's the next big piece?
The second core principle, the subconscious mind.
The subconscious, the hidden driver.
Exactly. The video asserts that the subconscious mind is what is going to dictate your reality, because it runs most of the show, often without us realizing it.
That lines up with a lot of psychology, doesn't it? The power of our underlying beliefs and programming.
Definitely. Real lasting change often means digging into those deeper patterns that operate below conscious awareness.
So how does the video suggest we change the subconscious? That sounds tricky.
It offers several techniques. The first one mentioned is shadow work.
Shadow work. I've heard that term. What does it involve here?
She gives an example. If someone wants to manifest, say, bigger breasts, they'd need to do shadow work to find and remove any subconscious blocks or negative beliefs they hold about that specific desire.
So digging into the hidden reasons why you might believe you can't have something.
Essentially, yes. Bringing those limiting beliefs or fears into the light so you can address them.
Okay. What else?
Subliminals are mentioned next, though she cautions against using them just on their own.
Right, those audio tracks with hidden messages.
Then conscious affirmations. She suggests picking maybe 3 positive statements and really repeating them consistently throughout the day.
Okay, actively stating what you want to believe.
Yes. And also trying to reprogram the subconscious during that hazy state, right between being awake and asleep.
That twilight state where you're more suggestible.
That's the idea. It's considered a prime time to feed the subconscious new information.
Interesting. Any other techniques for the subconscious?
Meditation comes up again, specifically 20 minutes in the morning and 20 at night, but focused on just observing your thoughts without getting caught up in them.
Observing thoughts?
Yeah.
Like watching clouds pass by?
Kind of, yeah. Becoming aware of your mental chatter without judgment. Then there's consciously monitoring your thought patterns.
How does that work?
She links it to the law of assumption, actively catching negative thoughts and flipping them to positive ones. The example used is wanting an ex back and consciously replacing thoughts of lack with thoughts of reunion.
The mental diet idea. Constant vigilance over your thoughts.
Pretty much. And finally, the classic act as if.
Acting as if you already have the thing you desire.
Exactly. Embodying the feeling and behaviors of the person who already has what you want to manifest.
So lots of different angles to work on that subconscious programming. Shadow work, affirmations, meditation, thought monitoring, acting as if.
Yeah, it's presented as a multi-pronged approach to reshape those deep-seated beliefs.
Okay, so we've got the foundation, the vibe, and the core engine, the subconscious. What about all those specific techniques people associate with manifestation, like scripting or vision boards?
Right. So after covering the vibe and the subconscious, which she frames as part 1, the video moves into part 2, techniques. But she's very clear.
Let me guess. These are secondary.
Exactly. She emphasizes that these are optional tools. The real work is the internal stuff we just talked about, the vibe and the subconscious reprogramming.
Got it. So the techniques are like accessories. Helpful, but not the main outfit.
That's a good way to put it. She briefly outlines a few. There are specific meditations for specific goals, like money or love.
Oh, like guided meditations.
Yeah, and she even mentions one by Aaron Doughty, a love meditation, but warns it can be dangerous.
Dangerous. Wow. Okay, proceed with caution there, maybe.
Seems like it. Suggests some intensity, perhaps, then using subliminals and frequencies while sleeping is mentioned again.
Reinforcing that subconscious work during sleep.
Journaling comes up, but interestingly, she admits she doesn't actually do it very often herself.
Oh, so not essential even for her.
Apparently not. Pinterest vision boards get a mention, too.
The classic vision board.
Yes, but with a key point. You need to be absolutely certain about what you put on there. She tells a quick story about wanting a specific Jacques dress, putting it on her board, and then realizing later she didn't actually want it that badly.
So clarity is crucial before you start visualizing. Don't just pin random stuff.
Right. And one more technique, the Abraham Hicks letter technique.
What's that involve?
Writing a letter from your future self, as if you've already achieved your desires, describing how great it is.
So embodying that future reality through writing. Another way of acting as if.
Exactly. So, you see, these techniques are all tools to support the feeling, the belief, the subconscious shift. They're not magic spells on their own.
That really seems to be the core message bubbling up here.
I think so. The key takeaway from this deep dive into the simonesquared video isn't about finding the perfect routine or the magic technique.
It's about the consistent internal work, isn't it?
Absolutely. Managing your thoughts, deliberately working on your vibration or emotional state, and actively trying to reprogram limiting subconscious beliefs. That's presented as the engine of manifestation.
And the routines and techniques are just ways to help drive that engine.
Precisely. And for listeners who want to explore more, she does give a list of other YouTubers she recommends in the spirituality and frequency space.
Oh, yeah. Who's on the list?
Let's see. Aaron Dowdy, Leo Alexandra, Sammy Ingram, Kim Velez, Bob Proctor, Dylan James, and Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Wow, quite a few names there for further rabbit holes.
Definitely offers pathways for people to explore different voices and maybe find approaches that resonate more specifically with them.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize this for everyone listening. We started with what looked like a simple morning routine.
But quickly pivoted away from that. The video argues manifestation isn't a routine at all. It's an always-on process driven by our thoughts.
Right. And the two big pillars are maintaining a positive vibe or vibration.
Which involves managing your energy, being mindful, and practicing self-care.
And reprogramming the subconscious mind using techniques like shadow work, affirmations, meditation, and acting as if.
And all those other specific techniques like vision boards or scripting, they're helpful tools, but secondary to that core internal work.
So the real secret sauce, according to this video, isn't a set of actions, but cultivating an internal state, a way of thinking and feeling that aligns with what you want to experience.
It really shifts the focus inward, doesn't it? It puts the power and maybe the responsibility squarely on the individual's internal world.
Which brings it back to you, listening. This offers perhaps a different lens through which to view your own goals and desires. How do these ideas sit with you?
Think about it, the emphasis on your thoughts, your feelings, those deep subconscious beliefs. How much focus do you usually put there compared to just, doing things out in the world?
Does this perspective resonate with how you feel you shape your own life experiences?
It's definitely something to mull over.
And maybe we can leave you with this final thought to chew on. If our thoughts truly are shaping our reality, moment by moment, what kind of world are your thoughts building right now?